Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations, where today we're doing another event quest. And it's one that actually gives stuff that I want, so, you know, that's nice. Now, this quest actually does give some pretty neat gear. It can be fun to try and make all of it. Oh boy, started off right in front of it with low health, that's great. Now, ordinarily, I don't really care too much for doing hyper monsters solo, because, you know, they are often angry rather than tired or anything else, and when you're the only target most of the time, because, you know, they're pretty good at killing cats, well, basically, you've just got an angry monster that's just focusing on you, which some people can handle just fine. Well, that was sudden. I guess that's what happens when you enrage a fish out of a hip check. Yeah, some people can handle enraged monsters going for them only just fine. I personally prefer at least having some downtime. Dang it. Keep on pressing B with inappropriate timing. Also, nice little loop there, buddy. I actually kind of want to ride this thing, because one of the parts of the sub is to break his back. I am glad I didn't take that. I think this is actually the first hyper monster I've fought on here. For those not in the know, hyper monsters can't get tired. They've got those little swirling darkness things on parts of them. Yeah, he's enraged, so the sonics won't work. And if they use an attack that uses the part that's afflicted, for lack of a better word, it gets its damage dramatically boosted, though all of the boosted part is left as red recovery health. So items like cooked fish are good if you've got them. I do not, so... Well, not on me right now. I do have them in my box, and damn, really? This guy is being much better than usual about hitting me with things from in his little hot tub. Which is unpleasant, because I am draining these potions way faster than I should be. Yeah, buddy, I'm not going to get hit by your hip check if I have anything to say about it. Oh, and the other thing about hyper monsters is if you attack the hyper parts, usually does about 20% extra damage to the monster. And he's still enraged. And also it gives you more meter for your arts. So it's very much worth attacking the spots, though it's also a risk, considering that, you know, attacks that use those are now significantly more powerful. And sometimes, like with projectiles and whatnot, they get increased in size as well. Which, you know, that's always a thing. There's one monster in particular where that really means a lot, and wow, we only got hit by the tremor. That's nice. Well, that was my face. Looks like now's a good time for this. Yeah. Yeah, we're actually... I don't remember any other event quests that are just plain fun. Like, there are certainly interesting ones, and ones that give nice things. But at the moment, I think I've actually done the only one that I would do just for fun because it's silly. I mean, there are others, just not with large monsters. Like, there's the one that's got massive Konshu. And that's always worth a laugh. But, I mean, that one requires you to be a prowler, so I didn't want to do it right now. Also, it's really short. Because, you know, you just kill some Konshu. They're big, though. They're really big. Bigger than you are when you're a prowler. Wonder if he's raging. Probably. This is bad timing. Yeah, he's raging. And no, I shouldn't have been doing that. Thanks, cat. Oh, I almost dodged into that. That would have been bad. Still raging? Still raging. That's how it is when you're fighting hyper monsters. It's pretty much their default state is rage. Well, looks like he's leaving. That's fine. Gives me a chance to drain the last of my current mega potions. Time to shove some honey into my potions. Tasty. Unfortunately, the area he's going to does not have a ledge. So basically, we'll have to rely on him going into his little hot tubs for our back hits. Hey, give me some meter. Thanks. I do enjoy fighting this fish. Not enough quests have him. Easily my favorite of the Piscine Wyverns. I shouldn't have used my Sakura Slash there. Because if I hadn't used it, then I could have saved it for when he was in his hot tub and gotten some pretty solid damage in on his back fins. Then again, with him being hyper, it's not too hard to build it back up. I mean, as you can see, ow, I'm already more than halfway to another one. So let's go ahead and get some Mega Potion in us. Ow. Then we can get bit. That's fine. Freaking fish. Okay. Almost got another Sakura Slash ready. There it is. Unfortunately, we didn't get to refill our gauge. But now we do. Or not. And I just used Sakura Slash out of force of habit. So it looks like it wasn't the worst plan. But also not the best one. Ow. Yeah, Piscine Wyvern tails, in this game at least, seem to have some of the worst hitboxes in terms of, you know, getting hit by air. But as we've discussed before, I think is largely just because they're held so high off the ground that if they didn't have bad hitboxes, the attack would be completely non-threatening. Also, we just enraged him again, preventing any opportunity to use those Sonics that I brought. Almost said flashes. Flashes don't work on this guy. His eyes aren't good enough. Hooray for refills. Ow. Uh-oh. Oh. Hooray for tremors and not fishes. I would much rather be hit by a tremor than a fish. Now, if he would be kind enough to do exactly the thing he's doing, then I'd be happy. So I guess that means I'm happy. So, there's his back. Here's our sword. Let's put the two together. Okay, we didn't actually knock him out of his little hot tub this time, but still managed to get the hits. And that's good, because the hits do damage. And damage is the goal. Because we need to get as much damage as we can on that back of his. Way to pop out, like, right where you had just come from. Gonna sit there looking around for a bit. I know I need to roll off my fire blight, but that was good. And he's mad again. Surprise, hyper monster. There are actually a lot of hyper monster event quests. I think largely just to make sure that people can fight them without needing to actually go to the trouble of unlocking hyper monsters, because they don't unlock just on their own. You got to do specific quests. And also, they do like giving event quests that are meant to be challenges. So that's another thing. Ooh, we've got RedmondStache. Well, got the break. Unfortunately, it caused us to miss with the second hit of the RedmondStache. But hey, whatever. Now let's go for this face. Ooh, that was nice. Why did he stay on the ground so long? That was unusual. And of course, there are 4 hyper monsters that only exist in event quests. Those being Silver Rathalos, who is currently available, Gold Rathian, who, for whatever reason, is not yet available, Rajang, who is not yet available, and Deviljo, who is not yet available. It's kind of annoying that they had to gate those monsters behind DLC. Like, honestly, I think the way they handled Crimson Fatalis in Monster Hunter 4 was the way to do it. Like, give actual new monsters as the DLC gated things, because that way you've got something big to look forward to, as opposed to, oh, I just can't finish this weapon until they decide to let me. Like, I'd much rather be like, oh man, there's an entirely other... He's still enraged. There's an entirely other monster in this game that I've never fought before? That's amazing. As opposed to, I know I'm going to get to fight this someday. It's just a matter of when they decide I can. That's just me personally. I don't know whether or not I can speak for everyone there. Should have actually tried to hit those side fins. I do believe they're his weakest point. Also, I should have tried to jump on him. That would have been also a smart thing. Nice splash. Of course, I no longer need to ride him because I've already broken his back fins, so I don't know why I'm putting so much emphasis on the whole jumpy jumps. But, I mean, it does give me a nice big chance to hit his face, so I guess it's still a good idea. Ow. But yeah, in Monster Hunter 4, Crimson Fatalis was event only. That wasn't true in 4U, where you could fight him without events. In fact, he was the only G-rank Fatalis you could fight without events. That's kind of silly, actually. But, yeah. I just honestly think it's really cool when there's no way to figure out that a monster's in the game until it's released. Especially because when it's free DLC, it's like, oh man, that for free? That's amazing. You know what I mean? Oh boy. At least I finished sharpening. But instead, in this game, they just locked out hyper versions of monsters we can already fight, which have pieces needed to fully upgrade their gear. So... yeah. Basically, you get the gear get the gear almost fully upgraded, and then you know, hey, that's a thing, and then you're left wondering, but how do I fight it? I want to fight it so that I can make the gear, and then, you know, unless you actually know what's going to be in the DLC, well, then you're just left to wonder, when are you going to get to fight it? You don't know. Maybe you missed something in the game. Oh no, maybe Capcom forgot to put it in or something. So really, personally, I don't see that as being the right strategy. But that's just me. Because again, I can't speak for everyone. I don't know what thought process Capcom used. I still enjoy that there is free DLC in the first place, and that they do find it in their hearts to give us these fun quests and also these challenges in the game for, you know, free, and to make sure that we can still have a good time with the game even well after it's been released. Like, as long as there's still new stuff. I can't hold it too much against them. But I just personally would prefer if they had gone the way that they had done it before. Anyway, I'm just going to capture this thing because, you know, I want to capture this thing. Why not? I actually don't need the carves. Carving hyper monsters doesn't give you anything special at all. It's just the quest rewards, so getting to the quest rewards as fast as possible is generally the ideal way to do this. And also, I mean, look at that face. It is too cute to kill. It is not really cute at all, but it's so ugly it's cute. And I'm going to stand by that. Oh, hi, Apsaros. Whoa, yourself. Anyway, Hyper Lavasioth scales are good things. Unfortunately, we only seem to have gotten the one. And these are also good. I'll go ahead and show what you can make with those once we get back to town here. With those tickets, you can make 2 armor sets, at least 1 weapon. I think it's 2 or 3. And also maybe some cat sets. I think those might use a different ticket, though. We'll see. Let's start off looking at the cat stuff. So, where is it? Okay, yeah, those use pirate coins. Those are different. So, let's see here. For weapons, is there a greatsword? I think there might be. Yes, there is. So, there's this greatsword. That's pretty neat. I don't know how good it gets, but I mean, it looks like it's got some white sharp with sharp +2 even at the first stage, so the sharpness probably gets pretty good. There's a longsword, which starts off pretty nice. I'd say actually better than the greatsword does. That's interesting. And I think there's a switch axe. Yeah. And there might also be duels. But yeah, the Pirate J weapons do tend to be pretty good. Like, I don't know if they actually come out top tier or anything once fully upgraded, but they're pretty good, especially for when you can make them. And those are the only ones that I know exist. There may be others. Sorry if I didn't show them off. And then if we go over here, we can see that, yeah, sure enough, there's 2 sets, Pirate and Buccaneer. So let's just look at the skills here. So yeah, the Pirate set gives you Fate and Charmer, so it's really good for gathering quests, even though it's got negative whim. Because if you're trying to pull up some charms, then hey, go wear this and do the quest for 30 coal. Deliver 12 one by one while in a multiplayer room but playing solo, and you get the maximum quest rewards, and then Fate makes sure you get the maximum quest rewards. Not necessarily, but it gives you a better chance. And then the Buccaneer stuff is for people who want to actually get monster parts as opposed to gathering stuff. And of course, there's more than just hats. See? There's Buccaneer. So yeah, the stuff looks pretty neat. And it's got useful skills for when you need to get your hands on stuff. So that's a quest that's definitely worth repeating a bunch of times. It's part of why I showed it off here. So yeah, that's that quest. And that's also it for this episode. Join us next time when we do another event quest or more. I don't know. It depends which ones we do. I don't know which ones I plan to do yet because I don't actually have a plan. It's just whichever one strikes my fancy, I'm going to do it. So yeah, see you then, friends.